Welcome to another episode of the FATE podcast. I'm Fritz, and I'm joined by
Elijah.
Me, Ethan.
And Tori.
Recommendations.
I recommend a game called Night in the Woods. It's about a girl named Mae Borowski and her story about coming home from college after a really major incident where she beat someone with a bat. And how she has these dreams about talking to God and how she found out there's like this weird thing that's not right about her town.
Is it a book?
It's a game.
It's a game.
Oh, it's a game.
You can play it on Steam. It's really good.
All right, do you have a PlayStation 4 or Xbox?
I have a PS4 and an Xbox 360.
Which do you like better?
I am a pretty heavy PlayStation user. I love my PlayStation.
Sony, baby.
Yep.
Sony all the way.
No, Microsoft. I guess I'm the
Look,
only
Microsoft had a
here,
good
bro.
showcase at E3. I'll give it that. But Sony all the way.
Yeah.
Sony all the way.
Why
Bro.
Why Sony?
Why Sony? Because I have an original PlayStation Slim, like from when it first announced, and that thing is still alive and kicking. And like, I don't know, like Sony for me, they play smoothly. They're a much more mature system, I think, and they just run really efficiently. Like I've never had a problem with my PlayStation as I've had with my Xbox, where like it doesn't work or doesn't respond.
Oh, that's I'm telling you.
bro.
I started with the PS3 and the PS4 controller
Listen,
is so much better than the
Listen,
Xbox.
listen.
Only the Xbox one it's only good for like Dragon Ball Fighters, but
bro.
Like the Xbox is so big
and the
clunky.
interface,
What?
the Xbox
First of all,
interface is terrible.
Listen, PlayStation
It is
4
terrible.
controller was big, and they slimmed it down. The Xbox One, they slimmed it down.
What,
you
the
know?
Xbox?
Fat and
Who
ugly.
cares about the Xbox One? Their interface
Stop fat
is so
shaming.
annoying.
And PS4 had that.
What happened to
white
Halo?
light of death.
They don't even care about Halo, and
Well,
they have no exclusives.
Hey man, I've had to take my PS3 apart
Listen,
and it still
See,
works.
luckily, I haven't been following Xbox, so I don't know too much about.
Conform.
Like, come on, bro.
Form, Elijah. Join the force.
I've been Microsoft
Sony.
since the first Xbox,
Which
so.
was probably
I mean,
the coolest one. And then
It's okay.
360.
I dip my hands in all kinds of systems. I have a Wii. I have an N64, a SNES. I had a GameCube, PlayStation 2,
Listen,
3, and
if you
4.
could play a game, I'm not in the
At
console
least-
war, but
At least we have backward compatibility.
Look,
have a
So,
point.
Look, yes.
That's like the only point
Yeah,
you
that's
have.
the great point. I started off with Microsoft as well. I had the very first Xbox, the black alien looking thing.
Bro, that was the best.
that was awesome. I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
playing Halo
Yeah.
Combat Evolved with my
Exactly.
brother.
Yeah, but like the original
But-
Xbox had that overheating problem. That's the thing.
But I went over. Then I had the 360. Then I experienced the Ring of Death. Then I went over to
I'm
Sony.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
that 360. Yeah.
Yeah.
After
I know.
that, I went over to Sony and never again.
Listen,
And like their online was
Listen,
free.
listen.
I
Yeah.
fucking
Everything was
back.
free.
Well, yeah, okay, until they went to PS4 and you had to pay for it. But
You still have to pay for Xbox. You still have to pay for like Xbox Gold.
Yeah, from the very beginning.
From the very
okay, and
beginning.
that was a better.
At
software.
least for that
At
one
least-
time,
listen, at
PS3 was
least-
like, let's make
But
it free.
PS4 get hacked all the time though.
That
Okay.
okay. That was like that one major
We've only
time.
had-
No, it was several times
We've
I got
had
hacked.
2 major hacks, and
And that
that's
one was
it.
free. That was free because it was easy to get hacked. So I'm just saying.
Look, we have God of War.
All right, we're
We
good
do
now.
have
We
God
have
of
Kingdom
War.
Hearts. Well, you only have
That's
you only have
fine.
Kingdom Hearts 3. We had Kingdom Hearts 1, 2.
We got Halo. Halo beat
2.8.
anybody.
Halo was
1.8.
gone now. Halo was gone down
Now,
the
but
gutter.
before.
Halo was garbage.
Not used.
Don't dwell on the
not
past,
used.
Elijah. It says it in the Bible.
But like I said, we had the backward compatibility.
So
And we
does
can
the
do-
Wii.
Who
Look,
plays-
Nintendo all the way. Get a Nintendo Switch, everybody.
Get a Nintendo.
Elijah's like, I have no combat.
The Wii U has backwards compatibility with regular Wii games.
I'll give you this though. Xbox
But
has some good
but
indie games.
It's not selling more than
You
the
guys have
Xbox, though.
Cuphead. You guys are gonna get Tunic. I wish we could get Tunic. I wish it's like a little Zelda game with a little fox.
Ooh.
And I'm so mad that did not get to PS4. That is my game. That speaks
But
to me.
you're probably gonna get it on Steam though.
Yeah, I have to get a Windows and I have a Mac.
Ugh, PC
Mac.
Master Race. Ugh.
And you guys have Cuphead. You guys have
Like I don't follow games.
I'm
anymore.
so glad you guys did not get Sekiro.
Oh.
I'm glad
I
that was
don't
on. That's
I
on
don't know
PS.
that.
It's like a samurai game made from the creators of Dark
yeah,
Souls.
it looks so good.
I was about to cry if I was going to be an exclusive.
Y'all heard of Amanushka, the samurai?
Yeah.
I love that game.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
and you guys are getting below. Below, I've been watching Below for years, and you guys are getting it exclusively on Xbox. Why?
Because hey, Xbox, bro. Hey,
Why?
turn over, bro.
No, I'm not.
Turn
I'm gonna
over.
get myself a huge, like beefy PC,
Oh man.
Ethan, just build your own console.
or that I'll build my
Oh
own.
man.
I'll build a console that just works with my PS2, PS3, PS4, and then stick my PS5 in it.
Oh, I forgot. Y'all heard? There were rumors about you can Microsoft and Sony like you can play each other online.
Yeah.
For some games, I
For
think.
some games, they have the cross compatibility that you can play online.
Oh,
That's
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
They're just like cool peace, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where they had it with Fortnite, with online Fortnite on the computer.
Oh, that'd
It
be
happened
crazy.
on accident.
Yeah,
Because the difference between playing online and Fortnite on your like phone versus your PC
Mm-hmm.
and the Sony is that Sony's not allowed to have spaces in their names. So they normally put underscores and stuff like that to bypass it. While
Mhm.
on gaming, like on PC, you can play with spaces in your name.
yeah.
And they found out that there was a weird breach in security where like it just like meshed together. And they're like, oh, we got to fix that.
How did that happen?
They don't really I've heard something about it, like on Philip DeFranco or something like that. It was really interesting.
Also, they're making an Elder Scrolls 6. I'm very mad.
Okay,
See-
Elder Scrolls just
See, all these games
I
that
did
Ethan
not like
naming.
that game.
I hate Skyrim with a. Anyone listening to this podcast right now, Skyrim is a failure of a game. Change my mind.
I wasn't a fan of Elderly Scrolls.
Scrolls.
Garbage.
Elder Scrolls.
Every single one of them.
I didn't like that.
Garbage.
I spent my $50
You're
on that
entitled
when
to
I
your
was young.
opinion.
Never
I
again.
can't really say anything about it. I've only watched people play and I got bored watching it.
Yeah.
So
If you fall asleep,
Yeah.
the game is so boring and ugly. They made
Yes, it
the
was
water
very
move a
ugly.
little bit better. I was playing the remastered. Some guy was moonwalking backwards. There's no excuse.
okay, but I had the same problem in Detroit where the bad guy was talking to a bunch of air.
But that game has way more pros than cons. You said it yourself.
Ethan.
I mean, I do have way more pros for Detroit than I would for Skyrim, let's be real. But I'm just saying.
Is it a glitch or is it a feature for Skyrim? You have to ask that
That's
question.
Bethesda.
Oh
Is it
my
a-
God.
Is it a glitch?
They
or is
still
it a
make their
feature?
games over on old engines. Old engines. Fallout 4 was made on an old engine they made.
76, man.
That's
Hold on.
how you save money, bro.
Ethan, what's your recommendation?
It's food.
What food do you recommend, Ethan?
I recommend Oreos.
Of course you do.
Oh my God.
Now,
Didn't he say
a
that
lot,
on another show?
No, but
That was
Right.
maybe that's pre-podcast.
it's way more than just a cookie sandwich. It's way more than chocolate.
Hey, listen. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's
Go
way
ahead.
more than chocolate and cream. It is a lifestyle. It runs through Oreos run through my blood.
Ethan's religion is Oreos.
If someone at Oreo company is listening to this, hire me, please. I will do everything I can to promote
Nabisco,
you.
just
But
take this, man.
Ethan, would you get a tattoo of Oreo?
Ooh,
Yes.
good question.
On my heart.
I would get a tattoo on the inside. That's how metal I am.
Oh man.
Oreos has been for me. I used to be one of those dumb people. Actually, no, they're not dumb. Who eat with the cream.
Even. No, go ahead. Sorry.
They lick the cream and just throw away the cookie part. But then I realized I tried milk. And then I realized I shouldn't eat Oreos with a cup of milk. Let me get a bowl of milk. And at that point, I realized it's perfection.
You know, I get Oreo attention to make Oreo videos.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
did. I made one.
No, I mean a lot.
I
so-
should make a
Un
lot.
solo Oreo.
Hey, I think that'll work, bro.
Yeah, make it a lot. And,
ways you can
get
eat
followers.
Oreos. Yeah.
You make followers, and sooner or later they get on the radar and
and
send
then-
you stuff.
And then you're gonna become like one of those subscribers to like the Oreo like subscription box, so you can try out the mystery flavor every month.
Yeah.
That was good too.
The
I love
only
the free
people
milk.
you should follow is Nabisco and Oreo.
Seriously, just make
I
your
gotta
own,
unfollow everyone then.
make a separate
Exactly.
Twitter account.
Yeah.
Make a separate.
Yeah,
Don't follow yourself. Just make a separate Twitter account for Nabisco and Oreo.
and then they will hear you if you get
they'll
enough followers.
follow you.
I want them to like just promote Oreos only though. Like get rid of. They can keep the Chips Ahoy because Chips Ahoy they're okay, but they have to realize who's on top.
Damn, what? Yeah, advertisers now. Like, I getting paid for this? Like, come on now.
Elijah, do you have anything to recommend?
I've been watching Jane the Virgin, so like I haven't been watching anything else. So
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
All right.
One day we should recommend.
I don't recommend this
because I have some recommendations.
So today we're going to be reviewing Chris Rock Tambourine on Netflix. What did you guys think?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Why?
I was not engaged with what he was talking about. I didn't feel like the jokes hit anything for me. Like, I just felt like he was too out of touch with like at least what I see as humor. Yeah, like he was out of touch with me. I didn't connect with any of the jokes. I didn't laugh at any of them. Like, I got a couple of chuckles out of some of them, but for a lot of the time, I'm just like, I'm kind of uncomfortable by this humor.
Why? What made you uncomfortable?
Like, I understand, like, being a black man, for him, like, he can play off some of his jokes like that. Wow, says like the only Latino in the room. Yeah, like, some of that stuff for me is kind of like, it is a bit like, oof, yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's
what?
in the news.
Explain. Like what?
Like when he's like, you know, like, shouldn't they shoot a couple white kids to make it look good?
But I feel like I can agree with Tori. The way I just, because I can understand why someone would feel uncomfortable, and I was kind of like, okay, is this going to be the entire thing? But then I was like, you know what? Just see it as just someone's skewed piece of reality, and I guess that's where the comedy comes in. Like, this is just ridiculous.
It is like overblown and ridiculous, and that's how like the stand-up works.
Because he's like, tell your kids they're special. No one gives a crap about you. Like, all that stuff is like, I wouldn't do that. But it's just funny that imagining that in my head.
No, I think I love the special. It's really good. I haven't watched like too much of Chris Rock stands up, but he's really funny. I underestimate his funniness.
He said himself like he's only famous there, and I that hit me because like if I saw Chris Rock outside, I would probably think he's just some random person. But if I look close, like, oh snap, that's Chris Rock.
I mean, he been in a lot of movies. I know that much, and host a lot of networks.
I've just heard a lot of his voice acting work.
Yeah,
like
more of his voice than
I've heard more of his voice than seen his face.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. Like, I grew up with him in Madagascar as Marty, and you know, like, that's really all I know him as.
I'm a fan of Chris Rock. I've been following his movies. I Think I Love My Wife to top 5. That was in theaters. I personally like them for the simple fact that, like I told you, I just have an obsession with comedians just for the simple fact that they give you a piece of their minds, and they just say things that people are afraid to say or talk about in society. So like, I think it was great just because it led to his demise from the special. He talks about his divorce. He gave you a movie, I Think I Love My Wife. Like, he's sitting here screaming for help. You know, hey, I don't know if I love my wife really. So you kind of see the struggles he was facing throughout his career, but you know, like, people just see it as, hey, it's just a movie. Sometimes it's a little deeper than that. Sometimes, you know, like the artist will put its life in front of the crowd or in front of the audience. And you know, I just found that unique. In top 5, he was an addict. He was a recovering addict, and in his special, he suffered with a porn addiction. Like, the correlations, that's just what fascinates me about it, and I love the special. Maybe I don't know if it's the age difference. I know he's a little bit older.
Yeah, for me, like, I'm like, maybe a lot of the jokes don't hit with me because I am a younger person.
Yeah.
And, you know, he is from an older kind of like generation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think that's why his jokes didn't really resonate with me, and why I could chuckle at some of them, and I could kind of just sit through the rest of the special deadpan. Like,
I was mostly just like, I chuckled, or I said like rip, like ooh, oof, or like ouch. But, like,
why? Well, why those reactions though?
Because like I guess when like because I guess you could argue is like truth or like yeah,
You're like, preach it.
and like just I don't know, from the skewed reality of it.
Yeah.
But there's also some things that he said where I can relate and I can make my own jokes, because I think he was talking about church.
Ooh.
And I watched this with Ebony and Mario, and I was making jokes about how black preachers are kind of like they have to do this heavy breathing when they
and they're just like
and then Ebony was talking about what other stuff black preachers do and like how they just dance about in church, and it was just so funny because like I guess I could relate to what he was saying, because like I've seen
you've kind of like seen it firsthand.
I'm not saying like I had to deal with like, oh man, people getting shot all the time or like all that, but like there's some like black churches. I've been in church mostly my entire life, and I thought I wasn't gonna like it because I don't listen to a lot of stand up, but
yeah,
I surprisingly did.
Yeah.
It wasn't boring.
Yeah, you know, like it's the reality of it. You know, he challenges. Comedians challenge our reality. Or
yeah, he's not afraid to say anything, what he says.
I love that about him.
And I think that should stay, because like it's just it's comedians, and I understand like people want to get mad at something what they say, but I feel like there should be like a separation. Like this is just comedy. Just let it say, because it's some things we all think.
Is it just comedy though?
That's the thing too.
I think the best kind of comedy kind of resonates with a bit of truth. Like no matter
always.
what you say, like there's a bit of truth to it. Like why some of these jokes exist, or like why some of the stereotypes exist, because
we all think of it.
It happens.
And I also think that comedians say things that we can't say.
Yeah, we don't want to say because like we'll get in trouble.
Or is that kind of disrespectful?
Yeah.
Like when he says we need bullies in school, they're like, no, we don't. We don't need bullies. We bullies. There's a harsh side to bullies that could be very negative.
Yeah, but I also get what he was saying about bully. Like you need to toughen up. You know?
But bullying also helps build character. As someone who's been personally bullied, it does help build character.
It does.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock, he's been personally bullied as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hates Chris. That's like some aspects of his life.
Yeah, the name alone, everybody hates Chris.
Yeah, you know,
That's
so
bullying.
yeah, that's bullying.
That's a
And look where he's at today.
Yes.
Like I like the fact that he challenges like the trends that are going on in society. Like he challenges equalities where he's like, I know the joke was a little I guess too harsh for some people. Like where I want to live in a world where an equal amount of white kids are shot every month. Like it makes you question, do you really want to live in a world full of equality? You know, I guess that's where the premises was coming from. Maybe that's how I saw it.
I just saw it like it's just skewed reality and just how ridiculous it is. But there is truth in there. There's a bit of ridiculousness, but also truth. They have to look under and think about the real problems. But like they paint it as something ridiculous so you can laugh. And so you don't have to take in just harsh truth.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't have to take the full darkness of the like
situation.
Subject.
Yeah.
Because that's the hard thing. Like he hits a lot of like hard topics like divorce and like shootings and bullying and things like that. But he disguises it in such a light, kind of like lighthearted way where people are like, that's some like deep shit, man. But you can laugh at it.
And like, I guess it depends on the subject he's talking about, because there's some subjects that you can laugh about, but then there's some subjects he talks about you're just silent, or like you're
just like
I just really don't.
Well, and what are those subjects that you didn't want to talk about or want him to bring up?
I guess like with relationships one, I was kind of like just like mostly silent to
about
that one.
Oh, about him cheating on
not that like that was a bad thing. Like he told something personal about his life, like I respected, but just like,
well, cheating is bad.
Yeah, cheating is bad. But like when he said like the joke was like, you see the guy's thinking like 3, you only cheated on 3. You must be romantic. I thought it was funny. But it's also like
that was funny. That was funny.
I would like every guy's thinking about like I'm not thinking about that.
No, but as he's talking to the guys that like mess with a lot of girls and
especially because of his status.
His status, exactly. He can get
multiple
access to girls.
Yeah,
exactly. So the matter of fact he only got 3, it was like a disappointment,
Yeah, because like when people think you're like, oh, you got celebrity status, you must be like sleeping around every night. You got to be hitting something.
It's like 3,
and he's like, No, it was just 3 people.
And it's funny because he says enter the minds of the men that's in the audience and people that's watching it.
And like I guess that's what
I
kind
love
of
that you said that.
Yeah,
because like when he talked about like the joke about how like housewives have to make a play to convince that's also the man's house. It's funny. But
That's
like,
funny.
no, that's funny and
like,
also true.
yeah, like damn.
I think Ethan like kind of don't want to think that way.
No. I don't think it's that he doesn't want to think that way. It's just like what Tori said earlier. It's the generational difference, the age gap. Maybe when Ethan gets older and he has a little bit more experience, like Chris Rock, because then he'll go back and watch this special and he's like, "Oh my God, this is hilarious." It makes
He's
sense.
Oh, I can laugh at this.
Yeah,
because it happened to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not for everybody, and like definitely in that mindset, I'm just like, this is bad. Why are people laughing? This is bad.
You don't think you can laugh at anything?
I mean, I could laugh at some things.
I laugh at dumb poop humor.
Oh,
but can you make a joke with anything?
Yeah, you can.
I think so.
I think you can make a joke of anything. It depends on how you spin it.
Yeah.
I'll bring an example. Pogo, I love his music. Great, he makes remixes of like Disney movies, all this stuff. And his YouTube account name, if you look on the website thing URL, it's called Fagatron.
Oh.
So one of his managers asked him, who is gay, asked him, why is your name Fagatron? So he made this whole satirical video talking about how he hates gay people, just about this name, and like you could tell that he made this because why should he explain a name he made when he was probably just super young and stupid,
like a dumb 10-year-old?
Yeah, but the way he did it, he made a joke about like the Pulse Club shooting, and he like when those people died of the shooting, and he made a face and fist pumped. And like,
it's not funny.
It's not funny, but it sounds funny. But like, when you watch it, you really, I was like, it was not funny. it was kind of just, and like he had to apologize, and like a lot of people on Twitter were saying like, forget Pogo, and it hurt me because I love his music. I'm just like to listen to it, but like I was like, why?
You're like, dude, that's too far.
Why? Why?
You think?
Because I think,
and his apology was terrible.
I don't like
Jake Paul.
Like
no, he still tried to defend himself.
Like with with comedians, I think their jobs is to push that boundary. Like how do you know the limit if you don't push it? And comedy,
true.
and comedy is so subjective. Like I like dark humor.
Same.
I do enjoy dark humor.
Yeah, like I'm a fan of dark humor. Not like not everything makes me laugh, but if somebody says some dark stuff, and I laugh at some
the books.
Yeah, I laugh at some racist jokes. Like even if it pertains to white people, pertains to black people,
stereotypes can be funny sometimes.
Yo, if a white person says it, I might die laughing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be like this defense. I'm not gonna be unless the joke is terrible. My coworker, he made a joke where he ended up calling me a slave.
Oh,
he's like, "Watch this slave," and I was like, "Whoa, red alarm!" That wasn't even funny.
Yeah,
he would have just called me a slave,
like right out.
Just right up. The joke was, "Hey, you're a slave," and he completely he didn't even think about, what are the connotations, my skin color and all that. Like the joke was tasteless, not creative.
Yeah,
if you have to put work into your jokes,
of course. And I don't think we should
I'm like,
we should say, okay, it's a terrible joke. You shouldn't make that joke, but not like scrutinize or make them lose their jobs or anything like that.
I agree.
No, I'm just like some jokes, like you don't realize in the moment that you said something tasteless.
Yeah,
and then after the fact, you're like, oh shit, man, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Like there's some times where you're just like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean that way. Or like you have to kind of like remind them. You're like, hey, can you like not,
because they're pushing the boundary when they're in the moment, something might slip.
Yeah,
and
everyone makes mistakes.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like
I mean, there are times when you could tell someone's just flat out being racist, but like that, you can easily tell that when someone's making a slip.
But if someone's just making the joke and then no one laughs, I'm okay, it's just a bad joke.
It's just a bad joke.
It's just a bad joke. That's it.
Like I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape unless it was a like really bad joke.
Or you're going at it like over and over again, trying to force the joke to make people laugh.
Yeah, like there's a point where you're like, okay, man, it didn't land.
Bad
Just
comedy
quit.
is the worst.
And yeah, but I think
It's the worst
professionals
feeling.
like Chris Rock doesn't do anything like that. He doesn't force his jokes out to make it funny. He just tried to make it land to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what did you guys think about his segment about, or his joke about lying to children about the future? You
Oh my god,
where he
I-
says-
that joke was so funny.
I completely
Yeah.
agree with it. Funny, and I also agree with it.
Why? What about you, Tor?
I can't remember. To be honest with you, this special did not land a chord with me at all, so I don't remember
You got
most
this
of it.
transcript. Read it out, Fritz.
All
you
right,
have
so
to-
basically, he's like, you can be anything you want to be, and then like part of the transcript says is you, and then he says no, you could be anything you're good at as long as you're hiring, and he's
Oh,
like, yeah, he's
yeah.
like, you stop lying to these children, telling them they could be anything you want to be. I see about 60 Uber drivers in here in the future.
Nah, like that joke. Now I remember. Yeah, I can totally see it. Because yeah, you should not. Yeah, just stop lying.
Because they're trying to fantasize it, and like don't try to fantasize it. Just say you could be anything you want to through hard work and pushing yourself.
But like, look at me, Ethan. No matter how hard I want to be an NBA basketball player, there's no way. I'm too short.
That's true.
Exactly.
And that's yeah. There's some things that are just impossible. I can't be
I can't be I can't be a pilot because I don't have 20/20 vision.
Same here.
yeah.
I can't be. Well, I can become president, but like my sister can't become president because she wasn't born in the U.S. Like
Mhm.
there are just some things you can't do.
Yeah.
And people have to realize that, and the kids, well, the teachers aren't telling.
If you could be anything, why are you a vice principal?
Exactly.
You dress up as one.
I love how you follow up with, okay, you're a vice principal. That wasn't your dream. Like, you probably wanted to become a principal, but you're a vice principal. So
Hmm.
it's hilarious.
No, like that joke. I laughed at that one because I'm like, yeah.
I
Yeah,
watched
get
I watched
that.
this special while driving home with my wife for like to Boca.
Yeah.
We said we're dying laughing in the car together. That was that funny.
And like the whole no bully policy at school, that bullies are going to be anywhere. There's going to be
They're gonna find
jerks.
a way, man. Like bullies, they're not as physical anymore.
Yeah.
Some of them now it's more like getting online or like
cyberbullying. Yeah.
or like verbally, like
Yeah.
you can't catch them a lot of the time because like now it's just hearsay. Like
Mhm.
if you thought someone said something but they didn't, you're like, how do you actually know unless you record them? And like that gets into a whole nother.
It's
like-
more rumors and everything and all that stuff instead of just like back in, I guess, physical.
because I
in the
mean
day.
now it's about ruining someone's reputation more than
Yeah.
anything else.
So yeah, so did you guys agree with? So when I'm reading the transcript and when I watched the special, like that premises of the bullying came from he was trying to bring his kids into a school and the school said they had a no bully policy. And later on he goes to say, we need bullies. Pressure makes diamonds, not hugs. And I was reading some book. What's his name?
Tom.
Warren Farrell.
Okay.
He said too much empathy builds narcissism.
Yeah.
So
I
how
can
do you
see
guys
that.
feel about that? So a little bullying is okay.
I don't agree with bullying. I'm not saying either that we should have more bullies, but I don't think we should be all huggy, happy-go-lucky. I feel like there could be pressure in other ways, challenging yourself to do better in your schoolwork, getting constructive criticism, and actually like
But if you get constructive criticism, they're gonna think it as bullying. Nowadays.
Well, okay, if that's the type of bullying that we need, then maybe that type of bullying, not the one
I
where
don't think it's bullying
push-
at all. Constructive
yeah.
criticism
I don't think
isn't bullying.
criticism is bullying at all. People
Yeah.
just don't know how to take it,
Exactly.
which like isn't fair to you. But
So
whatever.
they're gonna get their feelings hurt. They're gonna be, mommy, the teacher
Yeah, like-
picked on me, this and that, and and the teacher gonna get in trouble or something.
I could relate to him when he says,
I could understand. I could relate
Yeah.
and understand what he's saying. Reality, because bullying can also go extremely far. People have committed suicide over bullying.
And I agree, but I could relate to him when he says, we need to stop telling kids how special they are. That part I agree with, because my older brother, he has 2 daughters, and everybody looks at them, they're mixed kids. Everybody tells them how beautiful they are, especially the older one. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. So one day my older brother was like, you're ugly. And then she started crying. And then my older brother pulled her. He's like, why are you crying? Then she said, because you called me ugly. You really think I'm ugly? And then he's like, does it matter what I think? And then she said, no. And then he asked her, do you think you're beautiful? And then she said, yes. And then he said, hey, no matter what I think, it's all about what you think of yourself. If you think you're beautiful, it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. And his point of that is, if you can't take criticism from your own home, how are you going to survive out there?
Yeah.
We are our own worst critics as people.
Yeah.
My mom calls me Raggedy Ann, but I know I'm styling.
Well, I mean, when my hair was fading out from blue, my mom called me Snot Girl. So, I mean, it's fine.
Like, my mom says, like, my 3 beanies are ridiculously disgusting, but I love every single one of them. I can't go without one.
So it's like what Tori says. It depends on how the person takes it, And I really do believe, it kind of starts from the home, because
like I feel like it's also just looking at things from a different perspective. I was talking to Alan, and like he was talking about how people come up to him and he says, "Yo, why is Ethan wearing 3 beanies?" And like, if the way I see it, if I give someone a laugh or someone laughs at maybe how ridiculous I look, I gave them a laugh.
I don't know. For me, I came up in a home with 2 other older sisters with parents who had a very different sense of humor. I mean, we gave each other diseases for Christmas, like stuffed animal diseases for fun.
That's some dark stuff.
For real.
Like, I got the common cold. Like, one of my cousins got like the plush chlamydia, like all that stuff. Like, we had amoebas, sperm cells, egg cells. They were just lying around. Like, they were just around the house. Because of how my home life shaped me, even though when I was being bullied at school, I was able to handle it, unlike some people who they couldn't take that kind of stuff, even though like the staff knew me pretty well because I didn't like going to school because of those people. And like there were some days where I was afraid to go to school because I knew that person was going to be there. There was one point in my life where I'm like, enough is enough. Like, when am I going to stop cowering? Mm-hmm. And when am I going to take charge of this?
Yeah.
Strong woman right here.
So, I finally, I took the proper steps. I confronted her. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
That's all you have to do.
And like, she just kept beating the crap out of me. So the next thing I did was went to the higher up of authority, who I was already pretty good friends with because I visit this person like almost every day. And because of that, then they're like, oh my God, you've actually been getting like kicked and punched and scratched and getting your pieces of skin ripped off, and you haven't told anyone. So I took care of that. So that person got transferred out of my school, and I didn't have to see them for about 3 years.
I used to get bullied for my ears, and by my older brother, and the rest some family members as well. They used to call me Dumbo because my ears used to stick out. I used to cry all the time, but then I started saying, you know what? Whatever. This is who I am. Just gotta accept it. Made me tough. So name calling doesn't bother me.
I think everybody get bullied now and then by either family or friends or people at school.
I think lighthearted teasing is good.
Yeah.
Like I'm called Shrimp because I'm the shortest person at home, or Midget because I'm also the youngest. Mm-hmm. So like when people comment about my height, I don't get offended about it anymore because I'm just like, yeah, I'm short. So what? I can get into small spaces, and I'm faster than you.
I make fun of my friend Choosy because he looks to both of us, and he's trying to grow facial hair. And in fact, it's worse because he sees my little brother, and he has more facial hair than I do. And then he's like, "Why? Why?" And we joke about it. Shout out to Choosy if you're listening to this. You're never gonna grow a beard.
You know what's funny about this? I
no facial hair.
I taught 4th grade. Well, before the school year ended, and I called this kid Little Man, and then he started crying, and then I asked him what was wrong. He's like, "Oh, I'm offended. You called me Little Man," and I like doubled. I'm like, what? And then I kind of put it on him. I'm like, yo, you number one, you are little, and be happy I'm even calling you a man. You know, I'm not about to have a little fourth grader come and tell me you're offended when I just gave you a little nickname. There's a movie called Little Man. Are you serious?
You're like, come on, man. You're like 8.
Like
Bro.
snot nose crying. I'm like, are you kidding me? And the whole class was like laughing. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like,
You're like, what the F is going on here?
I'm offended. I'm like, do you know what offended means?
You're like, that's $1 word.
Shoot.
You're a genius and you're crying about this.
You know, I'm like, holy
No one in your class knows this spell offense.
That's how degeneration being raised now, bro.
Man, it's crazy. Well, Elijah, you know, you're a religious man.
I can't spell.
And you know, this special was it touched a little bit of everything.
No, yeah, it's. Go ahead,
How did you feel about the religion? The religion
I wanted
jokes?
to talk about that one.
bro. I was laughing my ass off, bro. It was so funny. Like, he wasn't. Oh my god,
That one hit me the most.
Yes.
he wasn't.
Bashing.
I would say he wasn't bashing God to like completely. He was just making there's kind of like something wrong here. You know, why would God make quicksand? You know, it's not good.
Mississippi, mistake. M-I-S-S-T.
Like the joke
That was
is
genius.
about porcupines. You can't hug them, you can't kiss them. You know, it's a mistake. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like you don't think about these things, but it's like true. Like, but it was the funniest thing. I
Like,
love the
why do
religion
animals eat their young sometimes? Like, that's
Yeah.
Cannibalism.
So how did you feel about what he said? Religion is kind of like salt. A sprinkle is good, but too much will fuck up the meal.
I 100% agree.
I agree as well at
was-
that point.
jokes. Oh, no.
Because then he went to he compared it to the whole religious extremist.
I don't even think it needs to even be religious extremist. There's a point where I think your thoughts, like how you see the world, just becomes completely like disillusioned. Cause like my mom, she'll sometimes asking me like, hey, just invite your friends to church and stuff like that. And like I understand where she's coming from, but she also understands it's not that easy. Or like you can't, like there's just some people where it's just like it's not easy to, they don't agree with her, they don't believe stuff. Like my mom's like, you'll make so many friends, you guys will connect all stuff, blah blah, you'll have so much fun. My mom doesn't, like, she says you can make so much friends at my youth church group. It's hard. My mom doesn't understand that they're all older than me and they don't know a dang thing. They don't know what a Danganronpa is. They don't know what we just know Jesus.
You know that Danganronpa?
You know that Danganronpa?
You know, with him saying about the religious thing,
Mhm.
I mean, I agree to an extent, but because
My aunt, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but my aunt, she won't watch movies because of religion. She will not step in a movie theater because of religion.
Is she what?
That's what too much salt or too much religion will do.
What
She watched,
religion?
Like, a trailer. Christianity.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
She watched a trailer
oh
and she
my God.
was blown away. Like, you see this all the time.
no, here's the thing about that. It really depends about what religion you're talking about. Being like, okay, too religious,
Mhm.
because there's millions of different type of religion. First of all, I don't like the word religious. Like if someone, oh, you're religious,
I agree.
I don't like it because, like, first of all, what you don't know where if I'm a Christian or
Buddhist or
Buddhist or anything like that. Like you just categorize me in this one group of, oh, you're religious. I don't like the word. Either say I'm a man of God, man of Christ, or something. Like I don't like the use of that word.
I don't know. I just say I'm like, oh, you have a belief system.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but everybody have
I
a
mean-
belief system.
but some people have like a different type of faith in their belief system.
Yeah.
If you kind of think about it, I agree with Tori. It still constitutes as a religion.
No, I agree.
Mhm.
But what he was saying, like, it was kind of true, but kind of not, because the way people take religions. But I'm gonna talk about Christianity because I know the most
Yeah.
about Christianity.
Mhm.
Christians, like they read too much into it, and the stuff they're reading doesn't follow what God wants. It follows what they want or think that God wants, but it really doesn't follow the core essence of what God wants. So that's why when they say or do these things, it's kind of like, okay, you're crazy. Like with the movie thing, like there's nothing about that in the Bible that you can't.
Yeah,
like
that's I agree with that. Like,
you
but
can't-
I don't know where they got that
like,
from.
I'm like, as long as it doesn't contradict the Bible, you're good. So I can argue, like, you can go watch the movies.
I've told them. They think my mom used to think that Hello Kitty was demonic because she didn't have a mouth.
Oh my God.
That's why I think and then when it gets to censorship, that's why I think it goes too far.
I do think though the entertainment business is evil, part of it. But I'm like Satan have his hands in it, but I'm not like the whole entertainment business. Some of it is fine.
Well, like for me, for somebody who kind of, I'm open to most religions. I've pretty much stepped foot into. I've been in the Catholic Church, the Mormon Church. I've been in an evangelical church. I've been a part of all of those different things. Each one I felt welcomed. I've been a part of their like belief groups for a while, and I can see where some people are coming from, where people can be seen as extremists, and other times where I'm like, no, we're not extremists. This is just our way of seeing life.
Yeah.
And we're passionate. And their streamers really not religious because they don't follow the text. They do whatever they think is right. And that's their ideology, not the religious ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So how do you feel about what he said? God never finds you at a good time. You're never sitting courtside at a Knicks game, getting a hand job from Halle Berry, and God shows up.
I died.
She strokes a good dick, don't she? I made her. I made your dick too. Enjoy the game. He says God never shows up at those times, but God shows up after you've been raped in jail and you're in jail for parking tickets.
I'll disagree. First of all, God is there at like all the time. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's there all the time. He might let you go through things for you to grow, and you might not see that he's there, but he's always there. It's sometimes difficult to see him when you're going through the bad stuff.
I think what he meant is majority of the people find God when
in their worst moments.
In their worst moments.
No, agreed. He comes at the worst moments.
Yeah.
Well, you can see him better at the worst moments.
Yeah. But nobody ever. I think what he's saying is nobody ever is like, oh, I found God through my best moments in life.
Yeah, like most people are like, I found God through my alcoholism.
Yeah.
Or I found God after I got clean from drugs.
It's because, well, to me, it's because like people don't think about God when they're having a good time. And they think that, oh, they're doing everything themselves. That's why they're succeeding. But when they go through that hard time and find God and succeed through that, then they, believe in God more and stuff like that. That's what my take on it is.
All right. And how do you guys feel about when he says the act of helping God is sacrilegious? If you think you can help God out, you don't believe in God. If you really had faith, you'd really have faith. Check this out. I haven't been to church in 10 years. Now that's believing in God.
I can disagree because the way some Christians, they see it like, we do this because God uses us as a vessel to do his work. Because he's not on earth right now, so we're doing the good work. We're doing like it's like we're through him we're able to do good things.
I believe that we can all do good deeds, and I'm like, I don't think necessarily being like, well, I haven't gone to church in 10 years. That's my belief.
Yeah,
I'm like, do good deeds every day as done. You do good unto others as you do to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that I believe is still helping in God in a way. You don't have to go to church just to be like, well, I believe in God and I'm helping in my own way.
But if he's the most powerful being in the universe, why does he need our help?
Because
that's what Chris Rock said.
Oh, okay, I know. Because we're on Earth and we're the one that's supposed to take care of it and take care of others. Yeah, he take care of us, but that's why we have free will. Like we're supposed to help others, just like he's helped us. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm like, spiritually, he's with us all the time.
Exactly. But I mean, how much like stuff does he have to intervene? Sometimes in order for you to grow, you have to have back experience.
You don't want to see a huge hand come from the sky and like pick up
like,
a car and
Deus Ex Machina,
stop it. Like it's about to crash, but he's like, nope.
Like,
there you go.
Hey, I would like to see that, bro.
But
I would lose my mind.
But it wouldn't make sense for him trying to help out every single time.
Getting hands everywhere.
I mean, he helped. Listen, to be honest, if if say if you're not a believer and you got raped and whatever, you became a believer, you might think that's a bad thing, but that, to be honest, that's a good thing, because you would die not knowing God, and when you got raped, you finally knew God, and then you can make your way to heaven if you believe in that.
What if
it's like a messy subject?
What if there is big hands coming from the sky, but he's moving so fast that we can't even see it?
Hey, bro, that's God for you, bro.
But at the same time, you're kind of like, that's a whole other existential question. Like, is our life are we just being like, is a huge hand from the sky just coming in, just fixing every mistake we're doing? We don't have the choice to make the mistake.
We make a lot of mistakes.
We do make a lot.
Yeah, but if there was a huge hand fixing everything, like a huge hand stopping me from making a huge mistake of stopping Ryan Reynolds from going into the Green Lantern movie. I'm just trying to help you. Like, Jesus, help me stop that.
I think he does that a few times. And if you believe in the Bible, and especially in the Old Testament, like the stuff he did with Moses, he basically says open his hands in the oceans and separate them and stuff like that. So he always helping out, but not every single time, because you need to grow. Mm-hmm. You need bad experience to make you grow.
Mm-hmm.
One segment I really appreciated in his stand-up was, he speaks about the era of the cell phone, and he says, in 16 years I had more contact with my ex-wife than my parents did in 40 years. That made me realize the difference in time and how much time we actually do spend with people and not even know it. Could you guys imagine living in those times without a cell phone? You can't talk to your spouse whenever you want to.
You got to send that snail mail.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of envy those times, because like, I think that's where people were really, I'm not saying they're not really in love now, but they was really in love back then, because like he was saying, like his dad would be out from like morning to night and he hasn't seen his mom, and that's when you really miss somebody. He had no contact and stuff like that. So I feel like now you text like 5 minutes later, oh, I'm home, or something, like, what you doing?
It's more like when they say they miss, like they really honestly just can't meet each other. But like, here you can miss someone, be like, oh, is it too awkward to text them now? I should probably text them months later. I can't do that. There's all these problems that don't matter. When back in the day, like, they legit missed each other because they could not
they couldn't see them.
Yeah,
and I get that.
I completely get the whole I miss you, just because firsthand experience. Like when I'm speaking to women and they're sitting here telling me I miss you, I don't say it back. I'm with you all the time. Literally, like I really don't say it back. When they ask me, you don't miss me? I'm like, no. Like, I see your Facebook. Like, I really related to what Chris Rock was saying when he said, you have FaceTime, you have Instagram. I like your picture. I left you a comment. Yeah, like, it's like,
the calling is becoming less of a thing now and more just texting people.
Yeah, texting. Yeah,
I don't like texting.
I text because it's faster sometimes, other than...
No, I think talking is faster.
Well, I mean, talking can be faster, but I can see pros and cons with calling and texting.
Yeah, same here. When my wife said, oh, I'm going to miss you. And I'm like, okay, I miss you too, but not really. Not as much as I,
As you should?
Yeah, as I should. Or if I wasn't going to talk to her for like 6 hours straight, I
have a kind of thing with that with like my family. When I'm here in Florida, I don't talk to them. They're not real to me. They're not alive.
They're so dark.
And then like I got a text message out of the blue from my mom being like, "Hey, are you okay? I saw that you dialed 911 a while ago." That was for a completely different thing that got settled though. But, and then I'm like, oh my God, I really miss my mom. I miss my parents.
See, because you haven't talked to them in like a long time.
There's something great to be said about what you just said, Tor. You're basically agreeing with what Chris Rock says. The fact that you don't speak to your parents every day, like you don't see them every day, so you get that genuine feeling of, hey, I really miss you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with like my little siblings. My mom keeps telling me every day that they're counting down the days until they can come see me.
Yeah.
And I can go see them because we genuinely miss each other. It's been 2 years. Like it's been a long time since I've seen them.
Maybe that's why dogs are so happy to see us sometimes.
All the time. What?
I hate when they say that because we just give them food. No, they genuinely care about us.
No, they care, man. They, if you go and they start crying, like my
Tommy, you go in your room and I try to get Tommy's attention, like, I'll love you, Elijah won't.
I'm like he kept on scratching at the door, want me to open it. I'm like,
he looked at me, he told me, look, I have to come to Elijah. I gotta be right back. He told me in English.
Okay, Dr. Doolittle. Man. So what do you guys think about the whole housewives part? He says housewives are the smartest motherfuckers on earth. People think it's the working woman. No, suckers work. That's right. Smart people find other people to do the work for them.
I agree on the smart people find other people to work for them. I can agree with that. But a housewife can be dumb too. I don't think they're a housewife, they're the smartest either. But
they're still work. They still find somebody to work for them.
I mean, are you talking about trophy wives, or are you just talking about the wife who really does do all the cooking, the cleaning, and
He's speaking in general, I believe.
Because they're both.
Yeah. But it's still the housewife, whether you're a trophy wife or whether you're a dumb housewife or whatever, you still convince the man to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel about that segment, though?
I mean, I agree with it because, sometimes I'm like, damn, sometimes I wish I could be like, my wife can just work all the time. I gotta stay home and not work or not stress and not lift heavy boxes all the time and stuff like that, and get everything paid for me, and I get my own car and just give me the money, I'll buy my own stuff. It's basically living not for free, but stress free for the most part until you have kids.
And then you're like, oh God, I'm broke.
Exactly. So
I was kind of indifferent about that because I'm like, yeah, some people are like, yeah, you're pretty smart. You got some sucker working for you, getting all that money while you can stay home and just spend it all. And then other times I'm like, but I actually like working. I like having something to do because if I'm not doing something, I'm going to drive myself insane.
Oh, that was me, the dead dish. But I guess I was indifferent on it too. I was just more laughing over the fact that the housewife is pulling an act. I'm like, that's true. Wow.
But most of it said it's true because there are wives
I believed it was true love.
Just again, trophy wives and go after rich people just so they don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a truth into it.
Yeah, I respect both because a housewife, if sometimes she's really doing her best for her kids, she's cleaning everything. I respect that. That's hard work too. And even working women, they're working hard too.
Yeah.
I
respect both. There are a good chunk of at home moms who I'm just like, that's tough. You're at home all the time. You're taking care of everything.
I mean,
sometimes you have things so efficient and organized that you're like, I don't have anything to do.
I mean, okay, if they don't have kids, what are they taking care of? Okay, you can clean the house, but how many times you can clean the house in a day?
You clean the house, you water the plants, you do the dishes, you do the cleaning, you do the prep
prepare
work.
dinner.
But I feel like you can do that you could clean the house in a day or two.
Not even a day or two. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, in a day.
Depending on the size of your house?
Yeah, depending on the size of your house, depending on the size of your house, you probably got a nanny, but or maids.
Yeah.
But then you can clean in a day or two, and then just maintain it throughout the week, and then you just have to cook every night.
Yeah, but if you don't have, depending on the scenario, if you don't have kids, you don't have to clean it every day.
And also, it's is that fun or it may be quick or whatever, but that sucks.
No, it would.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not fun.
Yeah.
You see, I'm like, I see it for at home moms, moms who have kids who have things to tend to all the time. I'm like, that's hard. I'm happy you have someone who can provide for all of you.
Yeah.
But those who just stay at home all the time because they're just like, well, I'm not good at working, so I'm just gonna have my husband work for me while I clean the house.
Get out.
You're spot on.
I think those are trouble because trust me,
being comfortable.
Yeah, boredom turns to a curiosity, and curiosity turns to maybe something bad.
Yeah, because I'm too much boredom can lead people to doing stupid things.
Exactly, cheating or trying new things they ain't supposed to do. Who knows?
I try to make you this one meal you like, and now I set the entire house on fire because I was bored.
Sorry, honey. I hope we have insurance on that stove.
I guess even if I was making money, I would still want my wife to work a little bit, maybe a part-time job.
I'd still want her to pursue her career.
That's same.
I don't want to work more. I don't want her to work less.
If I'm achieving my dreams of writing cartoons, she should achieve her dreams too.
Exactly.
And her success is my success.
Yeah, I'm like share.
That's exactly what he said.
Success.
Yeah. But nowadays people don't want to be housewives anymore.
That's one.
Yeah, because I can understand.
That's one thing he said in his special. Ethan said, "Her success is my success." He said,
"Yeah."
He said one thing we need to stop doing in relationships. We need to stop competing against one another.
I 100% agree.
I'm like, you have to be equal with like your partner. It's not. It shouldn't be a contest. I'm like, then if it's a contest, then what is it? Or do you really love that person if you're like, I want to fight you all the time?
He did say there's no such thing as equality in relationships.
There isn't. Because someone to be honest, someone have to take the lead. That can be equal as far as like, or be fair and doing things or compromising when it's time to make a decision. But someone has to lead that relationship. In my opinion,
I feel like there will always be leading one way or another and being fair. But there will be times where you're just like, you're both stumped on it and you're like, I really don't know
what to do. Yeah.
You're like, who do we consult? Do we flip a coin?
I also agree because sometimes it's not always 50-50 all the time. Sometimes someone just might be at their lowest point.
And then the other person, like, you have to help pick them up.
Yeah.
He states that. He says when you enter a relationship, you're in the service industry, which means you both are which means you both are serving each other.
That's biblical. So saying.
Like, you have to take care of each other.
Exactly.
And it's not always going to be 100% equal.
Yeah.
But there will be times where one person will lead more than the other.
And the other person is going to play tambourine.
Yep.
Another part of the segment, he says when he got older, one thing he learned was only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditional. He says women, children, and dogs are loved unconditional. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something, and that you never heard a woman in his or your life say, after he got laid off, we got so much closer. And he said he once heard his grandmother say, a broken man is like a broke hand. You can't do nothing with it.
I can understand where they're coming from, honestly.
Like I can hear that, but
I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it.
To me personally, if I was a woman,
go ahead, speak your truth. Go speak, Ethan.
I would love that person if they're going through ups and downs or something, because it's hard for everybody.
That's true. It's not easy. It's not easy pickings for anyone.
But that's just me. But it's happened before, so I can agree with it with other people. It's happened to other people. People have stories that.
Yeah, and like it's almost incredibly sad that like if a man has nothing to provide, he is pretty much useless. And I don't want to believe in that kind of thing.
That's like, I think it's hard to just be like, it's just hard to look at.
But it's a hard truth.
Yeah, but isn't that the reality though? Because if a man don't do anything, they're bums or homeless or something like that, and people won't treat them the same as they would a woman. They'll help out a woman quicker than they will help out a man that in the same situation.
But I also think that's kind of like a thing with how masculinity is seen, because we still have that toxic thing of masculinity where like they can't be emotional, they can't be helped, they have to do things on their own, which isn't fair. And I think that's also why that kind of saying exists, that like a man who doesn't have a job is like a broken hand, he's useless. And I'm like, that's not fair. You all have to work hard, you have to work together, and it's going to be a tough time, but you can make it through. But that's just my take on it. If that makes sense.
I've been listening to a lot of relationship advice and a lot of psychologists who specialize in marriage counseling or psychology, whatever. And one thing, I was listening to somebody, they were saying, like, if you ever ask somebody, what do they like or what do they want out of a man or a significant other, if you hear the language, that they use. Oh, I want him or her to be ambitious. I want him or her to be a hard worker. Those type of languages are used to fulfill action, which means you don't really want somebody based off their heart. You want somebody based off what they could provide for you, which is wrong. Like, if I was to say, hey, I want somebody that's kind, I want a woman that's smart. I want a woman who's family orientated. It's a different language.
It is. It's a completely different way of describing a person.
Yeah, completely different.
As a way to be like, I want someone who's strong, dependable.
That's all.
He can
supportive, protective.
That's that's all. Hey, what could you do for me? That's all work and no heart, no love.
Yeah. As compared to like being like, I want someone who's funny and adventurous, and we can take risks, things like that.
Yeah.
Like they are two different languages, and you can see, and you can definitely hear that, and you can see that in people like when you talk to them.
Yeah, it's just difficult. Like when he said that, it was a very difficult processing and digesting, just because that, just like you said, Tori, it's a hard truth. And some women in this society, that's how they are. If a man can't provide nothing for them, then hey, you're useless to them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of relationships that, like, if the man get laid off or something, the woman leaves, and that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. Nobody wants that.
But I don't think I haven't seen it work the other way around. If the women get laid off, the men wouldn't leave. They probably. I mean, it probably happens, but it's not. I don't
less likely
enough. Yeah.
You don't hear it very often compared to be like, oh my God, I got laid off from my job and my boyfriend left me, so I'm all alone.
Yeah. You don't hear that,
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he does. He says, men have to walk around with a coldness in their hearts, and that kind of touched me, just for the simple fact of what we're solely discussing. You don't hear certain things for women in society that you do with men. Yes, the stories happen, but you hear it for more the men. And who knows? Like maybe the coldness, maybe that's why some of the suicide rates are high. Who knows?
Yeah, like because if you look at the statistics, men's suicide rate is much higher than that of women.
Yeah,
and a lot of states are on the rise right now, and that's concerning.
Yeah, it's just tough. Do you guys think that children, women, and dogs are loved unconditionally though?
Oh yeah, you can't listen, bro. Especially with dogs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
especially with dogs, bro. You can't say anything, do anything with dogs. Like you can't.
Some people, their dogs are put on such high pedestals.
Yeah, more than humans.
Yeah.
Listen, I put humans over dogs. Like I would save a human before I save a dog. But most people minds won't do that. They'd be like, okay, one, why we can't save both, or they kind of choose a dog because they're helpless and maybe the person couldn't help themselves or something like that.
I asked a question at work: if people would kill a random baby, they won't be caught or anything for $100 trillion. A lot of them said yes. Someone even said they would kill my grandma. They would perform a drive-by on my grandma, but they wouldn't kill a dog.
They wouldn't kill a dog?
They wouldn't kill a dog.
Seriously?
They said that'd be very sad.
Exactly.
She said, "I'll do your grandma. I'm not doing a dog."
And that's the thing. And sorry, and
Ask
like, okay,
my
with
manager.
movies, like there, people can't kill dogs in movies because it'd be too sad. But they kill humans all the time.
But we don't kill kids on screen. We don't do that. We don't kill children on screen. We kill them off screen. You hear it, and you can imagine it, but we don't see it.
We kill men on screen.
We kill men and women on screen, but we do not.
But why is that though? Like it. Are we so numb to like, okay, we don't care about that, to the fact that okay, a kid's getting shot at or a dog?
Because it's like a man. You could say a man's the enemy soldier. Well, if you see a child as an enemy soldier, but they're innocent. Like in Metal Gear Solid 5, you see children soldiers. If you kill them, it's game over because they don't have. They're seen as innocent. They're seen as they were forced into this situation.
That's like the movie Skycrawlers.
Yeah, but again,
I still have to watch that.
They kill innocent civilians in movies all the time, but we don't. We says okay, we watch the next scene.
But
it's nothing.
it's also something that we've become desensitized to because of like the mass shootings that have been happening. Like we aren't afraid to like hear it anymore, and we're just numb to it.
And this goes back to what Ethan said in the beginning about you said it's your mother or your aunt
my aunt.
Maybe that's why she's so extremely religious, because it's what Tori just said. We get desensitized to things.
Yeah, because she was raised in a super and her father was very like super into religion. And when I hear the stories, it was nice. I wish I could meet my grandpa because he loved children. He did a lot of good things. He helped children a lot. But every time before they went to school or something, they'd always bring the kids together. My mom had 11 siblings. So they'd always come together and they would always have family devotion.
That's nice.
Person goes to school. And it's nice. But like, it's also like when you're in the real world and that's all you know, because they weren't able to do a lot of things. Like they got one lifestyle, but they weren't able to branch out and see other things.
A lot more.
My mom, every time I got a haircut, it was just one haircut. Now I don't know what to do with my hair because I've just been used to that one thing.
One haircut, yeah.
I mean, when I moved over here, I shaved it all off because I couldn't stand it.
It's like they never got the chance to really explore and do something else. Yeah, they were always told the rules.
Yeah, they
were set in their ways.
They're not living fully, really. They're in their box.
You know,
I censored back then. My brother and I were programmed to not watch if we saw blood, we always clicked X immediately.
Really?
Or something. It honestly took a lot out of me to watch Blue Exorcist. It took so much because I was like, I want to watch this, but like the kid's the son of the devil. I don't know. It took a lot, and I was like, but I loved it.
But you know, like, awesome. that shows strength in your character. The hardest thing in life is to reteach yourself and decondition yourself to what.
Trust me, coming to Orlando I really learned.
Yeah, man, so I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud.
It's hard to like reteach yourself certain things, and like, I mean, living out on your own. I can't say I live on my own. My sister lives in my house with me, but you know, it's a different feeling. Like now no one's holding you accountable. If you really,
your parents aren't there to see what you're doing or hold your hand to know. Or
like if you really don't want to go to class that day, even it'll cost you, like GPS points. You don't have to go. Nobody's telling you have to. It's school that you pay for, but do you really want to go? Like you don't have to.
Back home, I never snuck out or did any of the things. When I'm in Orlando, my parents came over here. You don't know this. I snuck out to give you that sandwich.
Did you?
I had to sneak out. My parents left. And I'm like, okay, I really want to give Tori the sandwich. So I just walked. Like, I hope they don't see me in the road or they come back home.
Yeah, because I was starving. And I'm like, I need food. And he's like, I have a teriyaki chicken sandwich. Do you want this?
Guys, I want to ask you a question. This separate. But would you guys save a 25-year-old kid or a puppy?
After 25-year-old kid?
No, would you save a 25-year-old kid?
A 25-year-old
or 25-year-old man.
Man.
Yeah.
At 25.
At that point, no, he's gonna be like, why'd you save me as a kid?
Man, sorry.
I would save the man. If I had if there's absolutely no way I can save both, I'd have to save the human.
Because I mean, it sucks that
it does suck.
That animals will be slaughtered, but but a human life it's more precious.
Yeah. Now, what these animal activists think?
I think we shouldn't put. I respect animal lives. Some people they see it way low, and the way we treat them in farms.
Do you eat chicken, Ethan?
Yes, I do eat chicken.
Respect.
I want our chicken to be raised healthy, not put in farms that are cooped up.
So it's good in your tummy.
Eat their own children. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't. I love my chicken. Okay, I love it.
You like your chicken tendies and your nuggets.
I love my chicken nuggets. My crispy chicken sandwich at Wendy's, one of the best sandwiches ever made.
Can agree.
It's basic, but
I mean, yours is basic. I like the Asiago.
I gotta try the Asiago. Chicken wings, they're so good. But if a chicken's raised happily in a nice farm, it's like a chicken can tell me I had a good life. You can eat me now. But I'll feel great.
Oh man,
I feel like there are those animal extremists, but sometimes as crappy as this is going to sound, something's got to give. And sadly, animals are not that top priority. I mean, I love animals. Don't get me wrong.
I love them too.
I prefer them over the company of people most of the time. But I do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, because they're different. They're different from dealing with a human being. Dogs are so much more loving
because they're so loyal and they don't fight back. That's the only reason why. Because they don't talk back. They will always be your friend. They will never say anything mean to you. That's why people get pets and whatnot.
I think there's more to it than that. The fact that I see dogs save other dogs or like animals and like.
But we save other people too.
Yeah, but
animals save people too.
Yeah, there's sometimes where animals they'll share one house and take care of their babies together. That's crazy to me.
Of course,
like animals, like they love, they care, like they
love you for who you are.
Yeah. they're not just dumb, mindless creatures, but at the same time, a cat's gonna save probably another animal. I gotta save one of my own too.
I gotta save my own, and sure, a person may not be thankful that you saved them in the beginning, but you can, you're like, I always have that moment where you're like, I saved someone, and now they can also save somebody, or they can do something better with themselves.
Yeah, because a puppy, they'll be glad. I mean, let's be, a puppy's not gonna be like thank you, or maybe in licks, and it'll feel nice at that moment, but it might just haunt you that you let a person die.
And to be honest, you could always get another puppy because for some reason we get a puppy dies or a dog,
and we get a new one,
and then we get a new one, and we remember the old one, but not. We love the new one maybe more. So.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
In some certain cases,
I'm not saying general.
Because like there's some other cases like where like the death of an animal hurts a lot.
I have a very, very specific kind of thing that happened with my poodle and my cat. So I'm like, I can't say that. I mean, I love Loki, but Loki's a little butt, and Angel was my perfect baby sunshine. But I love them both, but they're not the same dog.
Yeah, and I agree. When my dog Max died and we got Pinky, a lot of people, they love Pinky more because he didn't run when he walked. He was a lot more, wasn't as wild as Max was, but at the same time, they're not the same dog. I missed Max. Maybe not so much as I honestly did back then. I was broken, but
I mean, I still talk about Angel. He's still the dog that I talk about.
With some people, it's different. They have, because some people, it depends on the relationship we have with your dog. Some people, they just have their dog outside and they're not allowed inside. So if they die, they don't really care because they didn't get close with their dog or pet.
Because like my bond with my pet, it's gonna sound really crazy, but he was my brother. I wanted a brother. My mom could not.
Oh my God,
give me one.
Sound crazy.
So
I don't know. It's not crazy.
I'm just playing with them. I'm just playing with them.
I get the bond.
My cousin's dog was her sister.
But but Angel was my brother. He was the one he was my companion when my dad was in the army and I had really bad separation anxiety. Like he was the one who was there for me. So like when he died and my mom like FaceTimed me and called me, she's like, he has to go. You have to, say goodbye. I was an absolute mess. Like I said goodbye to Angel. Like when I came home, my mom's like, say hi to Angel. And I saw his ashes and I lost it. Like I almost cried standing in front of his urn. Like I couldn't handle it.
No, I get it. Like I'm not gonna like bash you if you're crying for animals because there's a bond there.
Yeah,
and I get it, but there's people that put humans over animals, and I don't see that.
Animals over humans.
Yes, animals over humans.
In some places, I can see them as equals. Like you can love them equally as much, but humans are more of a priority.
Yeah.
I would save any of you before I save my dog.
Save who?
I would save any of you guys before I save my own dog.
Yeah,
I mean, like
my dog.
He's my dog.
He's my dog.
I take a bullet for y'all.
My dogs. I'm saving my dogs first.
I mean, I love my pets, but
But I don't know.
That's a hard one to like touch up on.
Actually, you know what? It depends. If I don't like you,
Bro,
if I don't like you,
Go for it.
honestly, no. To the one girl
No.
I had to deal with, I would save my dog. I would save my dog.
You mean that fake you McFake?
Yes.
If y'all save y'all pets before me and I'm
No,
alive,
not Elijah. Not you.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like if anybody saved their pet and before me and I came out of it alive, I will kill the pet for it. Like I don't know, because I'll be pissed off. Like, damn, I'm not that important to you. I'm not more important. You feel me? Like it's a diss on me. I don't know.
I wouldn't kill the pet, but I don't know. I kind of like,
you know what?
Oh dang.
I'd have to change my position. I agree with Ethan. It depends on the person. It really does. If I don't like you,
because I can't Miss Fakey. She doesn't know who she is, but like I would save my dog.
Yeah,
Are you
you're absolutely right,
and
man.
be like, be a man, don't be a pussy.
I mean, but the I don't like you. You know, that's an obvious choice because like if you're like a killer or murderer, of course you're gonna save.
This is an extreme dislike. If I don't like you, like just don't like, I'll save you. But this is just for this one specific person.
Yo,
this is like disdain.
This is how I see it. Even if you're a murderer or whatever, but I don't like you, I'm saving the murderer.
Yeah.
I'll take my chances.
What if he murders you?
I'd save the cannibal over that.
You know?
Thanks, I got free meal too. Oh Jesus.
You know, like you're kind of put into like the hedgehog's dilemma at that point.
Yeah.
Or like the trolley scenario.
I'm trying to know about
there's
that
really
trolley.
There's really no good outcome for that.
No.
Like no matter what choice you do, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like in that choice, a whale is going.
A whale is gonna die.
You know, because a whale is gonna get cancer and then it's gonna die, or you're gonna like drive into the ocean, drive into that whale's blowhole, and then that whale is gonna die. Like there's just no happy ending.
Yeah.
But anything else you guys?
Animals can be butts though. I held a kitten once and it scratched me. I used to not like cats. So if a cat scratches me, they're done. I'm
I'm kind of that way with rabbits, though. I think rabbits are dicks, but that's just me.
I met Grapes. Grapes was a sweet rabbit.
Anything else you guys want to discuss from the special?
Nothing that really comes to my mind.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun.
It was one of the rarest comedy stand-ups I like. I enjoy some of them, but this one, I enjoyed this too. I don't know if I'll really go listen to more. I'm not really into comedy stand-up, but I surprisingly like this one.
All right.
I agree with some of his points. Some I was like, this is just a skewed piece of reality. I don't agree with it, but it's ridiculous, so it's funny.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it, bro. I'm good.
All right. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Email us at thefatepodcasters@gmail.com. And
we post content every week.
And that's all, folks. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Get yourself some Oreos and some Publix.
Bruh, stop promoting, bro.
Stop with that promo.
For real, bro. Wait until they pay you. Don't say nothing.
No,
Sponsored.
Oreos, I will give free publicity. Forget Publix Oreo cake. Publix Oreo cake. I can buy it.
All right, we're done. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oreos.